Hi, Peggy Kraus for Erasing Diabetes. I want to tell you a story about Joe. Joe just recently started on insulin injection, and he's not happy. He's afraid of the needles. He is worried about injecting too much insulin and becoming hypoglycemic, that's low blood glucose, and becoming unresponsive because he's had too much insulin, and he's just annoyed that he's got to carry around these pens and needles and alcohol swabs. So Joe's had diabetes for 5 or 6 years. Let's go back to when he was first diagnosed. His doctor saw that his blood glucose was elevated, and what he told Joe was, go home and get your diet in order and start to exercise, because that will lower your blood glucose and bring it back into normal range, so I won't have to prescribe medication. So that's exactly what Joe did, and he thought he was doing a real good job. But he did go back to the doctor 3 or 6 months later, and he found out that his blood sugar was still high. So the doctor took out his prescription pad and he prescribed metformin. So metformin's our first-line type 2 diabetes drug, and it's been around for a long time, so we think it's relatively safe, at least safer than a lot of the others, because we know the long-term outcomes. And so he took the prescription home, and he took his metformin every day, and he continued with his diet and exercise changes. Well, within a year or two, Joe's blood glucose was elevated again, and the doctor took out his prescription pad again, and he prescribed him sulfonylurea. And this sulfonylurea, glipizide, as well as the other sulfonylureas, they work on the pancreas and to lower blood glucose. So Joe is now taking 2 oral medications. Went home, continued with his diet and exercise lifestyle, and maybe within the last year had gone back to the doctor. His blood glucose still elevated. The doctor prescribed a 3rd diabetes drug. Joe just went back to the doctor again just recently, and the doctor said, blood glucose still too high, you need to have insulin. So I told you, Joe's not happy. He's fearful. And while insulin is a lifesaver with people who have type 1 diabetes, it's actually a problem for people with type 2 diabetes, and that is because insulin is a mover. It moves carbohydrates into cells so that the body can make energy. It moves proteins or amino acids to where they're needed to make muscle or other compounds that the body needs. And it also moves fat into tissues and stores them as fat. So that makes you gain weight. So if you are taking insulin and you're gaining weight, that the weight that you gain is causing your blood glucose to rise. And when your blood glucose goes up, what's your doctor going to do? The doctor prescribed Joe more insulin. Joe took the insulin, Joe gained weight, his blood glucose went up again. Do you see the cycle? More insulin, more weight, more insulin, more weight. It doesn't end. The trick is to never start insulin in the first place, to never start oral medication in the first place. Go back to when Joe was first diagnosed, and the doctor said to him, get your diet in order and start to exercise. To take the guesswork out of the diet piece, I have created 5 diet tips to permanently lowering your blood glucose. And that is available if you click the link right below the video.